compete for government business in a fair and transparent manner. This indictment signals a culmination of one phase of the FBI's investigation into public corruption in our area. As you know, and as Mr. Murphy said earlier, there are other related cases working their way through the federal judicial system. It is my hope that through today's action and through the FBI's demonstrated commitment to the investigation of allegations of public corruption, that the public's confidence in their elected government officials can begin to become restored. Thank you, and we would be happy to address any questions that you may have.
Yes, sir. Two questions. One, where does this put the investigation? Are you all near an end? Is this thing going on? Number one. Number two, I see from the indictment that there are no deprivation of honest services on here. Is this something that you all are giving up in light of the Supreme Court decision?
There is deprivation.
Yes.
Oh, I just saw the wire fraud. I didn't see the
No, the wire frauds include deprivation of honest services, and in fact, the recent decision of the Supreme Court directly supports our charges in this case. There, as you currently know, there were some conflicting lower court cases, certain cases with regard to the applicability of honest services to mail fraud. The Supreme Court has found, has held that the honest services, deprivation of honest services does apply to public officials accepting bribes, and that is specifically what we have charged. And so it is inclusive in every count, actually.
Yeah, I think it's pretty much all in there.
And with regard to your first question, the investigation will continue, and it will continue as far as the evidence may lead us. This is a culmination of a lot of work and many years of investigation. But during the course of that, there have been other matters that have come to our attention that are not yet ready for presentation to the grand jury.
Can you guys discuss real briefly the sort of scope of corruption that apparently existed in El Paso from at least 2003 until the first wave of both indictments and searches in 06, 07?
What the first part of your question?
I'm looking at a board of a whole lot of people, of school trustees, county officials. We've got 11 people, 12 people who have already pled guilty as part of the information you guys have filed. 2 lawyers, two other folks at Access, and a slew of others who have been identified but not indicted. Can you talk about the scope of corruption that apparently, at least according to your office, has existed in that time period?
I think it'd be fair to say that the scope of the corruption that has come to our attention that is actionable is not that great of a percentage of the public servants who are coming to work every day and representing the interests of the citizens as they are supposed to do, as they should do. It's disappointing that there are 11 people in this indictment and that there are 12 others who have pled guilty. That is, in itself, there are, I think, 17 people that have been implicated thus far in publicly filed documents. That obviously is 17 too many. But 17 out of the entire universe of public officials in El Paso County and all the school districts is probably not that high of a percentage.
Could you talk about any details as far as, for example, the Isleta vote? We know that it was a 4-3 vote for the contract back in 2005. Could you discuss? You mentioned some other people in the investigation that have not been indicted. Are there any more indictments coming from this specific Access contract that you can talk about?
No, as of today, these are the charges coming out of the Access activities, including the previously mentioned informations that were filed. We cannot discuss the specifics of any other investigation because they're not a matter of public record. So we can't not discuss any specific contract and whether or not that contract is continuing investigation, whether or not it's anticipated that any other individuals may be presented to the grand jury on the basis of the specific contract.
Are these all monetary bribes? I mean, can you talk a little bit about what was exchanged? You said anywhere from less than $1,000 to thousands of dollars? Was it all just cash?
No, it was not exclusively cash. There were some that were bribes in kind, but the majority were cash.
Can you clarify? I'm sorry. Can you clarify what sparked the investigation in the first place that led into Operation Poison Pond?
A very
Can you come up to the
diligent-
microphone, please?
A very diligent and hardworking FBI agent was transferred from organized crime drug task force work to public corruption work, and he found that working public corruption like you would a major drug investigation, and that is rounding up some informants, would be the best way to do it, and he was very successful in that regard. So it wasn't anything unique other than an FBI agent being transferred to a public corruption squad and doing his job.
Can you tell us if these informants were from Axis or from the districts in the county?
I cannot.
It's a little unclear to me, if I went through my notes correctly. FBI agents went to former NCED, and then all this stuff happened. Fast forward 5 years, and here we sit, 5.5 years, I guess. What sparked the NCED that led, or are those connected? Is there a nexus between all of these?
It's exactly what I told you. Once the investigation gained momentum and the judge authorized interception on 3 different cellular telephones, information about pretty much everything that you've seen with the exception of one of the indicted cases was acquired in that manner, whether it be searches that came from the wiretap information or other informants, other cooperators, people who didn't commit crimes but knew about it and now felt comfortable talking about it. Pretty much everything stemmed from the action that I discussed. Okay.
Can you talk about the months that have passed since the last time there were indictments or
I've been very
people
busy.
coming forward? Anything else you can tell us? It
No.
just seems like a long, long time.
I'll let them address that.
There is, as United States Attorney Murphy mentioned, there is a mountain of evidence in this case, both electronic, digital, audio, and that evidence has to be reviewed, analyzed, collated, and prepared for discovery. As we bring charges, we have obligations to provide the defense with the information that we have, and in this case, that's no easy job, and we have to be prepared to do that upon the rules of the court. And so that's one of the reasons that things seem to be taking a long time, is this case literally has a mountain of evidence. If you were to print a sheet of paper for every sheet that's contained in a computer, I'm sure we could fill this building in more.
In addition to that, and certainly everything Mr. Cuthbertson said is accurate, but in addition to that, these are serious charges, and these cases are not run-of-the-mill cases, and we need to take our time and be certain about what we're doing, and we check and double check. The charges were discussed by a number of career prosecutors with experience in fraud as well as in public corruption, and we wanted to get it right. And I'm more interested in being accurate than being quick.
In regards to EPISD, there are no, no names under that yellow bubble there. What is the situation with EPISD? Was there an attempt to bribe and it was not accepted, or?
Actually, we've already got guilty pleas.
Okay, so just those people.
Right.
Okay.
There are people missing, and specifically Salmena pled guilty to receiving substantial bribe from Access. So of course he wouldn't be indicted in this case.
Deborah, can you discuss, I don't know if you can, but the amount of assistance those wiretap tapes? You said you got 3 cell phones. Was this a freewheeling conversation where these things just sort of like, oh bonus, we'll go this direction now based on this
Go
conversation?
to court, watch the trial.
Still have another question. Yeah. This all began with the at least in terms of the sort of the first bust that occurred, I think at the county courthouse, 2007 May, I believe. There were Kettner came out with an information that sort of implicated 19